June Kim looked out the cabin window as the sun set behind the mountain peaks. His small wooden home sat alone among tall pine trees. Most people would feel lonely here, but not June. He had Mochi. "Come here, boy," June called. The golden retriever ran to him, tail wagging. Mochi was 7 years old with soft golden fur and bright eyes. June rubbed Mochi's ears and smiled. "Just you and me against the universe, right, buddy?" June wasn't really alone in his work. As a xenobiologist for Earth's first contact assessment team, he studied how life might exist on other planets. Most of his team worked in big cities, but June preferred the quiet mountains where he could think and work in peace. His cabin looked simple from outside, but inside it held powerful computers and special equipment. Tonight, June was checking data from space telescopes looking for signs of alien life. "Nothing again," he sighed, leaning back in his chair. "Maybe they're just not out there." "Mochi." The dog tilted his head as if he understood. June smiled and closed his laptop. It was time for their evening walk. The night air felt cool as they walked down their usual path. Stars filled the sky above the trees. June loved these quiet moments, just him and Mochi under the vast universe. Suddenly, Mochi stopped. His ears perked up, and he looked at the sky. "What is it, boy?" June asked. Then June heard it too, a high-pitched sound cutting through the night air. He looked up just in time to see a bright light streaking across the sky. It wasn't a shooting star. It moved too strangely, changing direction before disappearing behind the trees on the other side of the valley. "Did you see that?" June whispered. Mochi barked once, as if answering yes. There was a distant crash, and the ground shook slightly. Birds flew from trees, startled by the noise. June's heart raced. After years of studying possible alien life, could this be it? He pulled out his phone to call his team, but stopped. Better to check first. What if it was just a small plane or helicopter? "Come on, Mochi. Let's go see." They moved quickly through the forest, following the direction of the crash. Mochi ran ahead, his nose to the ground. After 20 minutes of walking, a strange smell filled the air, like metal and something burning. Mochi barked loudly from ahead. June hurried to catch up. "Mochi, wait." When June pushed through the last trees into a small clearing, he stopped in shock. A metal object about the size of a small car lay half buried in the dirt. It wasn't from Earth. Its smooth surface shimmered with colors June had never seen before. Small lights blinked along one side, and a thin trail of smoke rose from what looked like an engine. Mochi stood a few feet away, barking at the craft. "Quiet, boy," June whispered, pulling out his phone to take pictures. His hands shook with excitement. This was it, proof of alien life. His team would need to see this right away. A section of the craft suddenly slid open. Mochi growled, moving closer to June. Something was coming out. June held his breath as a figure emerged. It stood on 2 legs but was definitely not human. About 5 feet tall with scaled skin that gleamed blue-green in the moonlight. Its head was slightly larger than a human's with large almond-shaped eyes that reflected light like a cat's. The creature stepped forward, then stumbled, clearly injured. It made a clicking sound, then spoke in a voice that sounded like water over stones. "Help. Atmosphere compatibility. Temporary communication device activating." Mochi barked loudly and ran forward before June could stop him. The alien's eyes widened in fear when it saw the dog. It backed away, raising a 3-fingered hand defensively. "Keep that primitive relic specimen away from me," the alien said, its voice now clearer through what must be a translation device. June quickly called Mochi back. "He won't hurt you. He's friendly." The alien's eyes narrowed as it looked from June to Mochi. "My name is June. I'm a xenobiologist. Are you injured? I can help." The alien studied him carefully before responding. "I am Neri, diplomatic scout of the Sajin Confederacy." She looked at Mochi with disgust. "And yes, I require assistance until my ship repairs itself." June helped Nari back to his cabin. She limped beside him, keeping as much distance as possible from Mochi. The golden retriever tried to sniff her several times, but each time Neri made a hissing sound that made Mochi back away. "Your dwelling is primitive," Neri said as they entered the cabin. Despite her words, June noticed her eyes scanning everything with interest. "It's simple, but it has everything I need," June replied. He pointed to a chair. "Sit here. I need to look at your injuries." Neri sat down stiffly. Up close, her scales looked even more beautiful, shifting between blue and green when she moved. She had a deep cut on her leg and smaller cuts on her arms. "How long until your ship is fixed?" June asked as he got his first aid kit. 9 of your Earth days, Neri said. "It must repair itself." June nodded. "You can stay here until then." "I have no choice," Neri said. Her large eyes narrowed as Mochi walked into the room. "But keep that relic away from me." "Why do you call him a relic?" June asked, cleaning her wounds carefully. Neri looked at him like he was stupid. "Your species keeps primitive animals as companions. In the Sajan Confederacy, we evolved past such practices many centuries ago." "Mochi is my friend," June said firmly. "He stays." Nari made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Friend. A lower life form cannot be a friend." While June bandaged her leg, Neri explained that the Sajan Confederacy had been watching Earth for decades. They had learned Earth languages and studied human behavior from afar. "Your planet is interesting to us," she said. "Are there others coming?" June asked, thinking of his team. They needed to know about this. "Not yet," Neri said. "I am a scout. I will report if this planet is suitable." "Suitable for what?" Neri didn't answer. Later that night, June made a simple meal of rice and vegetables. He offered some to Neri, who studied it carefully before eating. "This is acceptable," she said, but didn't eat much. June fed Mochi his dog food in the corner. Neri watched with disgust. "You eat different food than your pet," she observed. "At least you understand hierarchy." "It's not hierarchy," June explained. "Dogs need different nutrients than humans." Neri tilted her head. "Interesting." When it was time to sleep, June made a bed for Neri on the couch. Mochi usually slept at the foot of June's bed, but tonight June decided to keep him in the bedroom with the door closed. It seemed safer. In the middle of the night, June woke up suddenly. Something felt wrong. Mochi was standing by the bedroom door, growling softly. June opened the door quietly and peeked out. In the dim moonlight coming through the window, he saw Neri standing by the couch. She wasn't sleeping. Instead, she was using a small device that projected holographic images in the air. June watched as Neri spoke softly into the device. He couldn't understand her words. She wasn't using her translator. The images showed what looked like star maps and data about Earth. Then the images changed to show different Earth animals: deer, rabbits, birds, and finally humans. Neri seemed particularly interested in these images, touching them with her 3 fingers and making notes. As June watched, Neri's mouth opened slightly, revealing sharp teeth. She made a sound that reminded June of when Mochi saw a squirrel he wanted to chase. It was the sound of a hunter seeing prey. A cold feeling spread through June's chest. He remembered something from his xenobiology studies. Not all species would see humans as equals. Some might see them as resources or food. Just then, Mochi pushed past June's legs and ran straight to Neri, barking loudly. Neri jumped in surprise and quickly shut off her device. "Your relic should be kept under control," she said angrily. But June had seen enough. Neri wasn't just a crashed visitor needing help. She was studying Earth for her people. And from the look in her eyes when she saw those images of humans, June was starting to think he understood what suitable really meant. He called Mochi back, trying to keep his voice calm. "Sorry about that. He's just curious about you." "Curiosity is dangerous," Neri said, her eyes fixed on Mochi, "especially when it's about things you might want to consume." The way she said that last word made June shiver. The next morning, June woke up early. He hadn't slept well after what he saw. While Neri still slept on the couch, he sent a coded message to his team about the alien visitor. He didn't share his worries yet. He needed more proof first. When Neri woke up, June decided to learn more about her world. Maybe he was wrong about what he saw last night. "Tell me about the Sajan Confederacy," he said, offering her water. "What is your home like?" Neri took the water and drank slowly. "Our world has 3 suns and 7 moons. Our cities float in the air above our oceans." Her eyes looked far away as she spoke. "We have conquered 5 star systems. Others will soon join us." "Join you? You mean like allies?" June asked. Neri's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. "Not exactly. They become part of our food chain." There it was again, that hint about food. June felt his heart beat faster, but kept his face calm. "I don't understand," he said. "The universe has a natural order," Neri explained. "Some species are meant to be leaders. Others are meant to be used. It is the way of life." Mochi walked into the room and went straight to Neri, wagging his tail. Despite everything, he still tried to be friendly. June watched carefully as Neri pulled away from the dog. "Your relic keeps approaching me," she complained. "Make it stop." "His name is Mochi," June said, "and he's just being friendly. He wants you to like him." Neri made a strange sound. "Why would I care what a food animal thinks of me?" June froze. "Food animal?" "Yes. On my world, creatures like this would be raised for food, not kept as companions. It is more efficient." Neri looked at Mochi with new interest. His meat would be considered tender and flavorful. June stepped between Neri and Mochi. "On Earth, dogs are companions, not food. Different cultures, remember." "Yes, your culture is unusual." Neri tilted her head. "You keep animals you could eat as pets instead. Inefficient, but interesting." Throughout the day, June tried to teach Neri about Earth customs. He showed her pictures of different human cultures, explained human history, and described how humans and animals live together on Earth. He hoped to show her that Earth species deserved respect. Neri seemed most interested in stories about human wars and hunting. "So humans do hunt and eat other species," she said. "Yes, but only certain animals," June explained. "Never other intelligent beings." "What is your definition of intelligent?" Neri asked. It was a good question. June thought carefully before answering. "Beings who can think, feel, create, and understand right from wrong." "An interesting definition," Neri said. "In the Sajan Confederacy, we measure intelligence by survival skills and technological advancement." While they talked, June secretly recorded everything on his phone. He needed his team to know what the Sajans were like. Later, June took Mochi outside for a walk. He needed time alone to think. As they walked in the forest, he whispered to Mochi, "I think we're in trouble, boy. I think Neri's people see humans as food, not friends." Mochi looked up at him with trusting eyes. June rubbed his ears. "Don't worry. I won't let her hurt you, and I won't let her people hurt Earth either." When they returned to the cabin, June found Neri studying his books about Earth animals and humans. She quickly put them down when she saw him. "Your species is diverse," she said. "So many different types, like a buffet of options." The way she said buffet made June's skin crawl. That night, before going to bed, June added extra locks to his bedroom door and kept Mochi close. As he lay in bed with Mochi curled up beside him, he thought about Neri's ship, now repairing itself in the forest. 8 more days until it was fixed. 8 days to figure out how to protect Earth from whatever the Sajan Confederacy had planned. 3 days passed. June watched Neri carefully and noticed she was getting stronger. Her cuts were healing much faster than human wounds would. This worried him. Neri spent most of her time looking out the windows at the forest and mountains, as if studying the land. Sometimes she would ask questions about Earth animals and their habits. June answered carefully, never telling her too much. "Your Earth predators are so slow," she said one evening as they watched a nature show about wolves hunting. "On my world, hunters move twice as fast." "Are you a hunter?" June asked. Neri's eyes shined. "All Saiyans are hunters. It is in our blood." That night, June couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what Neri had said. He checked on Mochi, who slept peacefully at the foot of his bed. Then he looked at his phone. Still no answer from his team. The mountains often made signals weak, but he was starting to worry. Around midnight, June heard a soft sound, like a door opening. He sat up quickly and turned on the light. Mochi was gone. The bedroom door was open. "Mochi?" June called softly. No answer. Heart racing, June got up and grabbed a flashlight. He walked into the living room. The couch was empty. Neri was gone too. And the front door of the cabin stood open, letting in cold night air. "No," June whispered. He grabbed his jacket and ran outside. The forest was dark and quiet. Too quiet. No sounds of birds or insects. June shined his flashlight between the trees. "Mochi," he called, louder now. He heard a distant bark in response. June ran toward the sound, moving quickly between trees and over rocks. He had walked these woods hundreds of times with Mochi. He knew every path. Another bark, closer now. And then a strange hissing sound that wasn't from any earth animal. June ran faster, his breath making clouds in the cold air. As he came to a small clearing, he stopped suddenly. Neri stood in the center of the clearing. Her body was low to the ground in a hunting position. Her eyes glowed slightly in the dark, fixed on something at the edge of the trees. Mochi. The dog was backed against a large tree, growling. He looked scared, but ready to fight. "Look at it defend itself," Neri said, not turning to look at June. She must have heard him coming. Primitive instincts, but no match for a true hunter. "Stop this," June said, stepping forward. "Now." Neri turned her head slightly. "Why? It's just an animal. On my world, we hunt for sport and food. On Earth, we don't hunt our friends," June said firmly. He moved closer to Mochi. Neri moved so fast June barely saw it. Suddenly, she was between him and Mochi. "Your attachment to this creature is a weakness," she said. "The Saiyan Confederacy will find your planet very easy to harvest." Anger filled June. Without thinking, he rushed forward and pushed Neri aside with all his strength. She wasn't expecting it and fell to the ground. June quickly moved to Mochi and put himself between the dog and Neri. "You're stronger than you look," Neri said, standing up slowly. She didn't seem angry, just surprised. "Humans protect what they love," June said. "Remember that." Neri watched him with new interest. The reports said humans were soft, emotional, easy prey. "But you?" She tilted her head. Perhaps the reports were wrong. "They were," June said. "Very wrong." They stood facing each other in the moonlight. Mochi pressed against June's leg, still growling softly at Neri. "My people are coming," Neri said finally. "When I report back, they will send ships. Many ships. What will you tell them?" June asked. Neri's mouth curved into that not-quite smile again. "That depends on what happens in the next 5 days, human. You've surprised me once. I wonder if you can do it again." As they walked back to the cabin, June knew something had changed. Neri no longer saw him as simple prey. But that didn't mean Earth was safe. Not yet. After the night in the forest, June didn't trust Neri. He kept Mochi with him at all times and watched Neri closely. But he also needed to learn more about her plans for Earth. "Tell me more about your ship," June said the next morning as they ate breakfast. "How does it communicate with your people?" Neri looked up from her food. She now ate meat that June cooked, though she preferred it nearly raw. "My ship has a communication device," she said. It sends signals through space faster than light. Can I see it? June asked. No, Neri said simply. It is not for humans. Later that day, June pretended to work on his computer while watching Neri. She spent hours looking at the sky through the window, as if waiting for something. That night, June only pretended to go to sleep. He kept his bedroom door open just a crack and waited. Around midnight, Neri got up from the couch and took out her small device again. Holographic images appeared in the air. June watched as she spoke softly to the device. This time, he could hear her words thanks to her translator. Scout Report Day 4. Planet Earth continues to show promise as a feeding ground. The apex species is physically weaker than Sagians, but shows unexpected defensive behaviors. More study needed before full harvest approval. June's blood ran cold. Harvest. They were planning to harvest humans. Local wildlife is abundant and would provide good hunting, Neri continued. I recommend this planet for Category 2 designation. She pressed something on the device, and new images appeared. Pictures of Earth cities, forests, and oceans. Then a map showing Earth's continents with red dots marking major cities. June had seen enough. He needed to stop whatever Neri was planning. But how? An idea came to him. If he could get to Neri's ship, maybe he could find a way to send false information back to her people. But he would need to distract her first. The next day, June suggested taking Neri to see more of the area around his cabin. You should know more about Earth before you report back, he said. There's a beautiful lake not far from here. Neri agreed, though she watched him carefully. She seemed to know something had changed. As they walked through the forest, Mochi ran ahead on the trail. June pointed out different plants and animals to Neri, trying to show her the beauty of Earth. Your planet has interesting biodiversity, Neri admitted. The Sagian Confederacy would find much to study here. You mean much to eat, June said before he could stop himself. Neri's eyes narrowed. You were watching me last night. June didn't deny it. I heard what you said about harvesting humans. It is the natural order, Neri said. Strong species consume weaker ones. We're not weak, June said. And we won't be easy to harvest. Neri made a sound like a laugh. Your weapons are primitive compared to ours. Your cities would fall in days. They reached the lake, its water clear and blue under the sun. For a moment, they stood in silence looking at the beautiful view. There are 7 billion humans on Earth, June said finally. And we've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own wars. We don't give up easily. Numbers and determination don't matter against superior technology, Neri said. While they talked, June watched Mochi playing near the water. The dog suddenly barked and ran into the trees, chasing something. Mochi, June called. Come back. Neri watched with interest as Mochi disappeared into the forest. Your relic doesn't obey well. I need to find him, June said. Stay here. As soon as he was out of Neri's sight, June changed direction. He wasn't really looking for Mochi. This was his chance. Mochi was smart enough to come back when he was ready. Right now, June needed to find Neri's ship. He ran through the trees, heading toward the crash site. If he could just find the ship's communication device, maybe he could change Neri's report or send false information. Behind him, he heard Neri call out. She had realized his trick. June ran faster. He had only minutes before she caught up. June reached the clearing where Neri's ship had crashed. The small craft still lay half-buried in the ground, but now it glowed faintly. The repair process was working. He ran to the ship and found the door panel open. Inside was a small space filled with strange technology. Lights blinked on control panels covered in symbols he couldn't read. Which one is the communication device? He muttered, looking at all the equipment. Behind him, a twig snapped. June turned quickly. Neri stood at the edge of the clearing, her eyes burning with anger. Step away from my ship, she said. Her voice was different now, deeper and more threatening. I can't let you tell your people to harvest Earth, Jun said, backing deeper into the ship. Neri moved forward. You cannot stop what is coming. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the sun. Both Jun and Neri looked up. A storm was coming, and fast. The wind picked up, bending the trees. Big storm, Jun said. We need to get back to the cabin. Neri looked unsure. I should stay with my ship. A loud crack of thunder shook the ground. Rain began to fall heavily. Within seconds, they were both soaked. Your ship will be fine, Jun shouted over the storm. We won't be if we stay out here. Lightning flashed, striking a tree not far from them. The tree split with a horrible crack and began to fall. Run, Jun yelled. They ran through the forest as the storm grew worse. Wind howled around them, and rain fell so hard it was difficult to see. Lightning lit up the sky every few seconds. When they finally reached the cabin, Jun was surprised to find the door open. Mochi, he called, running inside. There was no sign of the dog. Your relic is still outside, Neri said, closing the door against the storm. Worry filled Jun's chest. I have to find him. You'll die in this storm, Neri said. I can't leave him out there, Jun replied, putting his jacket back on. Neri stared at him. This attachment to a lower animal makes no sense. Before Jun could answer, they heard barking. Jun ran to the window and saw Mochi running toward the cabin through the rain. He made it, Jun said, opening the door. Mochi ran inside, shaking water everywhere. Jun didn't care. He hugged the wet dog, relieved. The storm grew stronger. Wind battered the cabin, and rain hit the windows like stones. The lights flickered, then went out. Power's gone, Jun said. He found candles and lit them, filling the cabin with soft light. A loud crack came from above. Before anyone could move, part of the cabin's roof broke open. A large tree branch crashed through, bringing rain and wind with it. The branch fell directly toward Neri. She didn't have time to move. But something else moved fast. Mochi leaped forward, pushing Neri out of the way. The branch crashed where she had been standing seconds before. Neri looked at the dog in shock. It saved me. He, Jun corrected, checking Mochi for injuries. And yes, he did. But why? Neri asked, clearly confused. I tried to hunt it. I called it a relic. She stopped, unable to understand. That's what dogs do, Jun said, patting Mochi's head. They protect even those who don't like them. They moved to the part of the cabin still safe from the storm. Jun wrapped blankets around all three of them. The storm raged outside, but inside they sat in a circle around the candles. Tell me, Neri said finally, why would an animal save someone who wanted to hurt it? Mochi doesn't think like that, Jun explained. He saw someone in danger and acted. Dogs are loyal and kind by nature. In the Sajin Confederacy, such behavior would be seen as weakness, Neri said, but her voice sounded unsure. Mochi, now dry and warm, moved closer to Neri and put his head on her lap. After a moment's hesitation, she touched his fur gently. Perhaps, she said softly, there are kinds of strength we have not considered. Outside, the storm continued, but something had changed inside the cabin. The storm passed during the night. Morning brought clear skies and sunshine. Jun woke to find Neri and Mochi both missing from the cabin. Not again, he muttered, jumping out of bed. He ran outside and looked around. The storm had knocked down trees and scattered branches everywhere. The forest was a mess, but beautiful in the morning light. Then he saw them. Neri was sitting on a fallen tree, and Mochi sat beside her. They weren't running or fighting. They were just sitting together, looking at the mountains. Jun walked over slowly, not wanting to disturb whatever was happening. Your world is beautiful after a storm, Neri said without turning around. The air smells different. Yes, it does, Jun agreed, sitting down next to them. For a while, they sat in silence. Mochi leaned against Neri's leg, and she didn't move away. "I've been thinking about what happened last night," Neri said finally. "About your dog saving me." "And?" June asked. "It made me question some things about my people's views," she admitted. "Perhaps there is value in these bonds you form with other species." June felt hope rise in his chest. Maybe Neri was changing her mind about Earth. "Will you tell your people that humans shouldn't be harvested?" he asked. Neri looked at him with those large alien eyes. "I will tell them that Earth requires more study before any decisions are made." It wasn't exactly what June wanted to hear, but it was better than nothing. Over the next 2 days, things changed between them. Neri helped June fix the roof. She even played with Mochi, throwing sticks for him to fetch. She asked questions about Earth that seemed genuinely curious rather than calculating. June began to think that maybe, just maybe, Earth had found its first alien friend. On the 7th day after the crash, Neri announced that her ship was almost repaired. "Tomorrow I will leave," she said during dinner. "My people will be waiting for my report." "And what will you tell them?" June asked. "That Earth is a complex planet with interesting species," Neri said. "That humans have strengths we did not expect." June smiled. "Thank you." That night, June couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Neri leaving, about what would happen next. Would other aliens come? Would they be friendly? Around midnight, he heard Neri moving around the cabin. He got up to check on her. In the living room, he found Neri packing a small bag with food from his kitchen. "Taking snacks for the trip," June joked. Neri turned quickly. "Just some supplies." But something in her voice made June suspicious. He looked closer at her bag. There was something else inside, something that moved. "What else are you taking?" he asked, stepping closer. Neri moved to block his view. "Nothing important." June pushed past her and looked in the bag. Inside, sleeping deeply, was Mochi. He had been drugged. "What are you doing?" June demanded, reaching for the dog. Neri pulled the bag away. "I need to take a specimen back to my people." "A specimen?" June's voice rose in anger. "You're taking my dog." "He is perfect evidence of Earth's unique species," Neri said coldly. "My people need to study him to understand this planet better." "You said you changed your mind about Earth," June shouted. "I said Earth needs more study," Neri corrected. "And what better way to study than with a living sample?" All the trust June had built over the past days shattered. Neri hadn't changed at all. She had just been waiting, planning this all along. "I won't let you take him," June said firmly. "You can't stop me," Neri replied. "My ship is ready now. I was going to leave tonight while you slept." She backed toward the door, still holding the bag with Mochi inside. "Why him?" June asked, his voice breaking. "After he saved you." "Because he is fascinating," Neri said. "A lower species capable of self-sacrifice. My people will want to understand how this is possible." "And after they study him?" June asked, already knowing the answer. Neri's silence told him everything. "You're no different than before," June said quietly. "You still see him as food." "Give me back my dog," June said, his voice low and dangerous. Neri moved toward the door, still holding the bag with Mochi inside. "I need this specimen. Step aside." "No," June blocked her path. Neri's eyes narrowed. "You cannot fight me, human. I am stronger and faster." "Maybe," June said, "but I've been preparing for this moment." June pulled out his phone and held it up. "Do you know what I did while you were sleeping yesterday?" Neri looked confused, but didn't answer. "I found your ship," June continued, "and I understood more than you think. Your technology is advanced, but not too different from ours. I was able to access your communication system." Now Neri looked worried. "Impossible. You couldn't understand our language or systems." "I didn't need to," June said. "I just needed to add something to your transmissions." "A virus." Neri's eyes widened. "What did you do?" I created a program that will infect your fleet's systems when they receive your next transmission, June explained. It will disable their weapon systems. You're lying, Neri hissed. A primitive human couldn't do that. June smiled slightly. I'm not just any human. I specialize in alien communication systems. That's my real job with the First Contact Assessment Team. This wasn't exactly true, but June needed to sound confident. Even if you did something to my ship, Neri said, my people will still come for Earth. Maybe, June agreed, but they'll find more than they expected. He stepped closer to Neri. I also sent messages to every major government on Earth. They know about you now. They're preparing. This was definitely a lie. June's messages to his team hadn't gone through yet, but Neri didn't know that. Humans are not as advanced as Saiyans, June continued, but there are billions of us, and we've been fighting wars against each other for thousands of years. Imagine what we'll do to protect our planet from outside threats. Uncertainty flickered in Neri's eyes. She looked down at the bag where Mochi lay sleeping. I also changed your report data, June said. Your superiors now think Earth has weapons that can destroy entire fleets. They think humans have technology that can detect Seigen ships from light years away. My people won't believe such lies, Neri said, but she sounded less certain. Maybe not, June said. But are they willing to risk it? To lose ships and soldiers to find out? All for a planet that might be too dangerous to harvest. Neri remained silent, thinking. Now, June said firmly, give me back my dog. For a long moment, Neri didn't move. Then, slowly, she lowered the bag to the floor. June quickly took it and gently lifted Mochi out. The dog was breathing normally but still asleep. He'll wake up in a few hours, Neri said. The sedative is mild. Why did you do this? June asked. I thought you were starting to understand. After Moki saved you, after everything. Understanding something doesn't change what I am, Neri replied. I am Seigen. We conquer. We consume. It is our way. Ways can change, Jun said. Neri looked at him with those alien eyes. Can they? Have humans stopped hunting animals just because you keep some as pets? Jun had no answer for that. I must return to my ship now, Neri said. It will leave Earth's atmosphere at dawn. And what will you tell your people? Jun asked. I don't know yet, Neri admitted. She looked at Mochi one last time. But you've given me much to think about. She walked to the door and opened it. The night sky was clear and full of stars. My people will come, June, she said over her shoulder. With or without my recommendation. It's only a matter of time. We'll be ready, Jun replied. As Neri disappeared into the darkness, Jun held Mochi close, wondering if he had done enough. Had his bluff worked? Would Earth have time to prepare for what might be coming? Only time would tell. Dawn broke over the mountains, painting the sky pink and gold. Jun sat on his porch with Mochi beside him. The dog had woken up an hour ago, confused but otherwise fine. Now they both watched the direction of Neri's ship. I don't know if I did enough, buddy, Jun said, rubbing Mochi's ears. But I had to try. Suddenly, a bright light flashed in the distance. Something was rising from the trees, moving fast toward the sky. Neri's ship. Jun watched as the small craft climbed higher and higher until it was just a dot. Then nothing. She was gone. Mochi barked once, as if saying goodbye. Yeah, Jun agreed. It's over. For now. He took out his phone and tried again to contact his team. This time, the call connected. This is Jun Kim, he said quickly. I need to speak to Director Park immediately. First contact has been made. I repeat, first contact has been made. And we may have a problem. The next few days were a blur. Government officials came to Jun's cabin. They asked endless questions about Neri and the Seigen Confederacy. They took samples from where her ship had been. They examined Jun's recordings and notes. Through it all, Mochi stayed by Jun's side, occasionally getting extra treats from officials who had heard how he saved June from the alien. A week after Neri left, June was in his cabin alone again. The officials had gone, taking their equipment and samples with them. Earth's governments were quietly preparing for possible contact with the Saiyans, but they were keeping it secret from the public for now. No need to cause panic. June sat at his computer, looking at the star maps where Neri had said her people came from. Would they come to Earth? And if they did, would they come as friends or hunters? A beeping sound made him jump. It was coming from a small device the officials had left with him. An advanced radio that could pick up signals from deep space. June turned it on. The screen showed a message was coming in. It was using the same frequency that Neri's ship had used. Heart racing. June decoded the message. It was short. Earth classified. Protected. Approach with caution. Species possesses unique defensive capabilities. Below that was a personal message. June, my people received altered data as you claimed. They are reconsidering Earth as a target. You bought time, perhaps decades. Use it wisely. Also, give the Relic a treat from me. He is more than he seems, as are all of you. Nari. June read the message twice, then laughed with relief. His bluff had worked. Nari had actually helped by supporting his claims about Earth's defenses. He went to the kitchen and got a special treat for Mochi. As the dog happily chewed it, June sat beside him on the floor. You know what's funny, Mochi? In the end, you were the reason she changed her mind. Not my fake virus or altered data. It was you saving her during the storm that made her question everything. Mochi wagged his tail as if he understood. She called you a relic, June continued, but you showed her something her advanced civilization had forgotten: compassion. That night, June took Mochi outside to look at the stars. Somewhere up there, Neri was returning to her people. And somewhere up there, other aliens might be watching Earth, wondering about the strange planet where humans lived alongside animals as companions rather than food. They might still come one day, June said, looking at the stars. But thanks to you, Mochi, they'll come with caution and maybe even respect. Mochi barked at the stars, as if challenging any aliens listening to come and try their luck. Earth and its people, humans and animals together, would be ready. June smiled and patted his dog's head. That's right, boy. You just helped save the planet by being yourself. Far above them, a shooting star crossed the sky. June made a wish for peace, but if peace wasn't possible, he wished for strength. The kind of strength Mochi had shown, not just physical power, but the strength that comes from loyalty, courage, and love. The kind of strength that made humanity what it was. The kind no alien hunter would ever expect. The end.